Salad or Dolly, threw a great party. We all drank Bacardi, it got kinda gnarly. We're light as a feather, we're tougher than leather. Together we're weirder together.
Weirder Together podcast. I'm Ben Lee.
I'm Ione Sky.
And the beautiful babies are wondering, why don't you sing much anymore at the opening of episodes? You used to rap. You used to bring out a spontaneous freestyle.
I know. Well, we've switched to a studio, so it was like, we were in our home studio. So I was
Right.
on home turf. But like an athlete, you have to learn how to play, every stadium, every place that's not your home turf.
So when you look out at, we might have a few people scattered around that, do you worry you'll be judged for your rapping abilities, or what's the self-consciousness?
I don't even know. Well, I should be worried about my rapping abilities, but I did have one weird moment. Like I have two that I can recall.
These are rapping humiliations?
No, the opposite.
Oh, rapping victories.
Yes.
Please share with us your two rapping
This is a
victories.
very, name-droppy one. I was at the house/workspace for APC with Sofia Coppola and some very fabulous people in the 90s, late 90s in Paris.
Sure, that tracks.
And we were all like in this one room, like listening to music and sitting on the floor. And I was rapping a song, not a made up song, like a rap song, but it was like we were sort of freestyling. It was just this random moment.
And you were moved by the spirit.
And it was like I could tell it was actually good.
Right. This is like harkens back. The old heads of this podcast will remember your story of being moved by the spirit playing the scarecrow.
Yes.
In The Wizard of Oz.
That was
and
the
how
other story.
You felt something come upon you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a sad story in the end, but I was doing a play of The Wizard of Oz, and it was just a couple of our friends. It was a pared down production. Maybe it was summer, something where it was like a camp type thing. And we were like 12-ish. And I, one day, could dance like Ray Bolger. What's his name? Anyway, the actor people be knowing. People do be knowing
Ray Bolger's name.
Is that his name?
I'm not sure.
Sweating and blushing. Anyway, the genius who played the Scarecrow in the movie, the 1930s movie of The Wizard of Oz, who could dance. It was amazing. And I just like could do it because if you don't overthink it, like people who can do backflips, my friend Russell Steinberg, I said, how do you do it? And he said, you just sort of imagine it.
So are you of the school of thought?
But then let me tell the sad part.
Please.
I
break our hearts.
did it once. I could do the dance, and then I got self-conscious, and I was like, I don't know how to do this dance. Then all of a sudden, I didn't know how to do it. And sadly, one by one, we all decided we didn't want to do the play anymore, and we all dropped out.
Oh, you actually turned everyone against it.
I don't know if I did.
Oh.
But I remember an acting exercise. I just felt bad because it was like a domino effect of, one person was like, we don't want to do this anymore. And then everyone dropped out. But one acting exercise was standing in front of everybody and not doing anything.
Oh, whoa.
And
For
just
how long?
kind of like Cave's portraits.
Right. Or Andy Warhol.
Or Andy Warhol. And the acting teacher was like, it's sort of uncomfortable, or whoever was directing the play, like, and someone said, well, I just was counting in my head to make it less.
I've never been able to do that. Like the few times I've acted, when there's a shot that's not being directly guided by the dialogue or something, it's really hard to do nothing and be natural on camera.
I kind of love that. I sort of love that because you just get into a space.
And are you the kind of actor that believes that characters are sort of like, do they sort of take you over? Like, do you have that kind of thing? You hear some actors talk about that almost like it's like an altered state of consciousness.
Well, yeah, like Britney Spears, Well,
not one of the people I was thinking of, but I'm intrigued that
you
bring
read
her up.
or listened to her, the biography that Michelle Williams beautifully spoke, she played a character in Crossroads or some movie.
That was a movie, Crossroads.
And she got so enmeshed with that character she kind of never wanted to act again. And she's so, I guess, sensitive and gets involved. I think the English actors and sort of what my favorite acting teacher's method was, not a method, you just serve the story.
Right.
So you're not bringing your past life, you're bringing your humanity, but you're not necessarily like, one teacher I had did not like the method acting. He was like, your imagination is big enough. You don't need to try heroin to play a heroin addict. You can imagine things. It's in your capacity. And so I think that naturally, though, funny and fun movies are fun, and depressing, heavy movies are heavy. But ideally, you're like a Royal Shakespeare Company actor will do the job and then be on their life.
Right.
They sort of look down on method.
So do you think that the sort of altered state experience of performing, right?
I think it's all good.
But is that potentially like almost
indulgent?
Yeah, is there a chance that you're actually missing giving a great performance because you're intoxicated with your own performance?
Yeah.
Or is that a sign that you're in the zone?
I don't know. I think here's what I think, like those acting teachers that make you draw upon things and cry in class, it's kind of abusive and weird. But the polar opposite of the person who's like, just serve the story, it should be enough in the text. You should have enough imagination to just play the part and play. You don't need to but the other acting teacher, which is the Sandra Seacat, that the Coppolas used, is what's it called? It's called I forgot the word, substitution. So you might, if you have an oppressive scene, like a claustrophobic marital scene, you might draw upon a memory of a claustrophobic moment and use that. And I might substitute you if I'm acting with another actor I don't know and pretend in a certain way it's, so they're both, but I think if you consciously do it, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sort of like, we were sort of chatting about this subject with your stepdad yesterday about meditation. And I was saying that there are times when I've had really strong meditation practices, but been totally making bad decisions at the same time, just making them very calmly. And it makes me wonder if the qualitative experience as an artist is actually at all connected to what people get on the other side.
I think you're absolutely right. Like it's sort of, I wouldn't say it's one or the other. It's like, where are you when you're doing it and who's teaching you and what, it's like anything can go wrong.
Now,
or right.
Tell me about what you were listening to this morning.
So I woke up this morning. I had a crazy dream that I was doing a play and I didn't have my lines and Donald Trump was producing and he was like insulting women. And I was like, I don't even care about that. If I quit this play because I don't know my lines, will Donald Trump sue me? And Janicza Bravo was in it and I was sobbing because I was like, someone give me this scene because I forgot my lines. Classic. Forgetting your lines. I woke up, I was fine. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay up because it was early. And you said, listen to this song. And I know about Justin Bieber's new album. And I was like, I'll just listen to one. And then I stayed in bed and I shopped online on eBay, window shopped. I didn't buy anything.
Important clarification, thank you.
Listened to the whole album. I can't wait to hear it again. I loved it. Because he's in a moment where, the drugs or something. I feel for him, the whole Diddy stuff and whatever. He's at this very sensitive moment and it makes you feel so close to him. And it was I really liked it. I want to hear it again.
Yeah, it's a good record. It's this record swag. It's Justin Bieber it sounds like he's like doing Bon Iver or Mac DeMarco. Like it's Justin goes, adult kind of soulful indie singer-songwriter. I really liked it. It's wild. Last week on Friday, Clipse put out a new album and Bieber put out his album. And I'd got into a fight online with this Australian music marketing guy who was dissuading young artists from making full albums, saying no one wants albums, everyone just wants singles. And what's interesting about both these records is they are both grown-up artists delivering albums that are very thoughtful, that have a tone, that have an arc to them. And I think that's part of the reason they're being taken seriously as works of art. Like albums are, I know they don't have the ability in a way to, in some ways, create the impact that like a single song dropped on streaming does. But I still think albums are the proof and the definition of like a legit artist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was it? I know it wasn't always this way, obviously, because I'm from the age where you like had Elton John's, album and you looked at it and you listened to the whole thing, obviously, or Prince or whatever. But probably back in the day in radio, there was always some bands who had one hit or two, and then there were album bands.
There was always a singles game, and there was always an albums game. It's just with streaming and playlisting, singles have become the dominant way that people consume music.
Yeah.
Like it's much easier to listen to one song and then let the algorithm just go on Spotify than it is to like strap in and listen to a whole album. But it's kind of fun that, I don't know, I like that, particularly the Clipse record. These guys are like late 40s, early 50s, and they're making, to my ears, some of the most vibrant hip hop that's coming out. And it just like,
that woman we saw on TikTok who was blown away by Clipse.
By the lyrics, yeah.
By the lyrics. And it was so...
She was doing like poetic readings of her favorite lyrics from the new Clipse album. She was
like having a revelation, rolling revelations about every line. But yeah, I loved listening to a whole album. It's such a...
And for me, Justin Bieber, this is the first thing I've heard of his that I personally liked.
Well, wait, what was his like big hits? Because
Baby.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they were like pop R&B songs.
Did he ever date Britney? I'm so silly.
I don't know. Why are you so silly?
Because I should know.
Well, you don't need to know that.
Wait, her big guy was who?
Her big guy was Justin Timberlake.
That's it. The other Justin.
Yeah. But anyway, pretty fun. It reminded me a bit of the Barbie Oppenheimer moment where two traditional medium, big form things coming out, and almost they accelerated each other, because I know with a lot of Twitch streamers and stuff, they were like, which album are you going to listen to first and review in whole or react to? Like, I like the idea when there's enough going on culturally that things can accelerate each other.
Do you like those guys who react to songs for the first time, that they'll react to like Fleetwood Mac?
I like some of it. I used to
Or do you think it's fake?
No, it used to feel very genuinely authentic.
Because I sent another name drop. This is a name dropping moment but Amelia Fleetwood, whose dad's in Fleetwood Mac.
Yes.
So these two guys were listening to a Fleetwood Mac song, and I sent it to her, and she was like, "Oh, that's so cute." But I was like, I don't know if they were. I feel like that one was sort of faked, but maybe not.
Well, they've selected it,
but
so
I
to some
enjoy
degree,
it so much.
No, I enjoy it too. It's just become such a style of content that it gets a little bit.
Are there more than one group?
Yeah, there's several guys. It's always pairs of guys who are digging in.
But it's their charisma. It's their aura.
Yeah, their aura. Yeah. How is your boyfriend Seth Meyers?
Seth Meyers. I can't even tell you. I know he did the news at Saturday Night Live.
Weekend Update. He was head writer. Yeah.
Head writer, talk show. I have gotten to know him through family trips with the Myers brothers.
And I have gotten to know him through you talking about Seth Meyers'
you're
family
a little jealous.
nonstop. I'm not jealous, but I do. There's a degree of intimacy you have with like his brothers and their what. Not personally, just what you know about them. That I guess I'm subtly threatened by. Sure.
Yeah, no, he's from Massachusetts, like near maybe where Sarah Silverman's from. He and his brother look and sound identical, which is not a plus for the podcast, because they literally sound, it's like if we for some reason had the same exact voice, it's confusing because you don't know which one's talking.
Yeah, red scares like that. They sound almost identical.
They sound identical, so that's strange. Yeah. But they have such a close relationship. And he's interesting because I sense that in real life he's got a depth of, he's deep, Seth Meyers, but he's an interesting celebrity because he likes sort of obviously comedy, and it's interesting to see how he goes deep with family stuff. And like some of his guests, he has celebrity guests on talk about family trips. And that's the gig.
Now, I understand that you like Seth Meyers and his world and his brother and
I
his
don't
podcast.
know his
but
whole-
is there any self-reflection on why at this time of your life have you become such a Seth Meyers stan?
Well, it's comforting. You know, I listen to podcasts
Yeah.
to fall asleep. And if I'm listening to, I feel like Trump was in my dream because somehow my podcasts in my earbuds were going to some news or something. So, you know, I was dreaming about, Trump.
But is Seth Meyers a specie boy? Does he have that thing that you kind of have that push-pull
He
with?
doesn't have the specie boy
So
thing.
that's like guys who have grown up with their mothers telling them everything they do is brilliant, basically.
Yeah, well, the thing is, his family is like actually, they're like obsessed with their parents.
Right.
And they tease their parents and they tell funny stories. Like, for example, this is such a...
I love you're just laughing at the memory of a Seth Meyers anecdote.
So one of them's, Seth Meyers lives in New York and Josh, I think, lives in LA. And
Say more.
okay, listen, but Seth is married with 3 children. Josh has no children. And Josh is a vegan and he's married to this woman, Michaela, I guess. And Seth has these 3 kids, and his wife is Alexia, I think. Alexia.
Okay.
In any case, they went to see a Broadway show with Alexia, Seth Meyers, his wife, and Alexia's mom.
Oh,
And
Alexia's mom. My
or
God.
Alexia, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're leaving the show, and the mom, they pull over because someone wants to grab a water from a bodega, like a deli. And
Okay.
they're just leaving the Broadway show. They go out as family. And the mom's like, I want to stop and get something. And they're like, fine. And she starts like, she's like, the daughter is so stressed. It's later. It's hard to find a taxi. The daughter like passive aggressively gets into a taxi. And the mom is like shopping for a cake all of a sudden or something in this deli. And Seth does something because he's like, he knows that the daughter will be so annoyed. She's going to just say, go taxi, and leave the mom because it's so irritating. And he tells these kind of nuanced, funny stories where
Was that one of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I didn't tell it right.
Could we have a regular recap section of the pod where you just come on and just recount Seth Meyers' family anecdotes for the beautiful babies?
That was not good. But he does, it's like cute stories with his kids and stuff.
Okay.
But anyway, he has guests telling like horrific or funny stories about family trips. Paul Scheer,
Yeah.
our friend and brilliant comedian, and his show is How Did This Get Made? He's a genius. His was brilliant. It was sort of a story based in his unplugging, his memoir called like Joyful Memories of Traumatic.
Paul Scheer's very good memoir, though, whatever the title
and a
is.
great title.
Now, am I
His is
sensing
great.
that there are aspirations that you
To be
hold
on
of
it.
being on
Of
Seth Meyers'
course,
podcast?
Of course.
Would you like to take this opportunity to
You know
maybe
what's
just
funny?
pitch
I
Seth Meyers
do.
right now if
Seth
he's
Meyers.
watching?
And probably I should wait to promote something on his actual talk show, but I would prefer almost to be, well, on both, to be honest. But family trips, I have so many, Rosarita Beach, Tijuana, those ones were amazing with mom. Spain, oh my God, I have so many insane ones with the Scottish grandparents.
All right. Well, we're all at the time where it comes where you need the audience to mobilize
Yes,
and really
please.
like hit Seth's socials and get you on that pod. We're going to do it.
I should probably do something good for the world before mobilizing people, but you know.
Look, just have realistic goals.
Okay.
Small chunks.
Yeah.
Small chunks. What do you think about Olivia Rodrigo paying for her crew, her band, everyone on the road to be in therapy?
I love that. Wasn't there a documentary about Metallica?
Sure, some kind of monster.
Because they went into therapy, but they were early adapters to that. Yeah, bands like either you figure it out like Keith and, Mick and the Chili Peppers, or certain bands they love each other, but they figure out how to be in a band for so long.
I don't think this is about group therapy. I think this is about individual mental health
Yeah,
and like her
that's
guitar
great.
tech, like having a chance to deal with the stresses of touring
Yeah.
and all that. I thought that was pretty
I think
cool.
that's great. If they don't have, it's not like a lefty one eye thing where you're forcing people to do stuff.
Lisa Left Eye Lopez. Yeah. So this is not
Sorry.
Olivia Rodrigo's cult. Yeah.
Listen, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to her or her name, but
No,
that
for
was
sure.
she got into like vegetarianism in Costa Rica or something and made everybody become a vegetarian with her.
But do you think you could do, if you had therapy that was encouraged or sort of mandated by your employer, do you think you could approach it
Oh my God.
wholeheartedly? You would be so
It depends.
resentful.
I would, but it depends on who the employer is.
Okay.
Like I can't imagine. Yeah. This is where our kid gets it from. I am like not a follower unless I really believe in the person I'm following. You know what I mean? Or I'm being made to do something. But if I felt like in the right, I don't know. Like I would check it out. But now as I'm getting older, I've been lucky enough to have therapists that I admired and felt like they were really helping me. But now at this point, if I get like a 30-year-old or whatever, I haven't had a therapist for a while, I would be like, you're going to really give me some wisdom? Like, you know what I mean? But our last therapists were old people.
I would take some advice from Olivia Rodrigo, if only because...
If she did it, I would do it.
if she did the therapy, that's the thing.
I would do that.
Olivia
100%.
Rodrigo...
And her advice, but yes.
Because Olivia Rodrigo, can you imagine being a young female artist who's actually been in lawsuits against Taylor Swift, right? She has an enemy in the most powerful person in her industry. The inner strength and resolve that must take to get through that, because Taylor Swift has a very generously shares her platform with many upcoming artists and really eases their way. To be locked out of that is pretty intense. I think Olivia Rodrigo is like hardcore.
Yeah, I may find out something, but I like her a lot.
Yeah. I was thinking about how there's a lot of, because of social media, artists have a lot of pressure to like comment on everything. You know what I mean? Like politically, you have to have fully assimilated things and made your official statement on everything that happens. But I think more and more what I'm really appreciating is artists taking time and creating real change in small, manageable ways for a cause they particularly care about.
Yeah.
And I think that the Olivia Rodrigo thing of like actually caring about the mental health of her team is amazing
love that.
leadership.
I love that.
And I was very moved by, Ben Folds, my old collaborator, stepped down from, I think he was on the board or leadership position of the Kennedy Center when Trump came in and said he was going to completely take over programming of the Kennedy Center. And Folds basically was just like, not for me. And it was a very real and very like, he had skin in the game. You know what I mean? I love when artists actually take a stand for something. And it's like, it's very moving.
Yeah, Eartha Kitt got like totally blacklisted for something.
How did Eartha Kitt get blacklisted?
That was my nephew.
I like that that's the
D3.
gesture for blacklisted. Blacklisted.
That was very like my
Yeah.
nephew. Would have been like I think she spoke out to a president. His wife was doing something she was invited to, and she spoke out about something, and it was not the right place and right time, I guess. But she lived in France forever and ever.
That's it. What? She was sort of felt exiled?
Yeah, she was.
Wow.
And then she adopted a bunch of kids. Oh, no, that was Josephine Baker. In any case, yeah, it happens if you stand up. I think Ben Folds will be okay, hopefully.
Yeah, I was proud of him though. I was
great.
really like we need more just like sensible, firm protest of individuals.
Like Mandy Patinkin.
Yeah. The Potemkins were good. Are the Potemkins?
Tankin or Tem?
Do they have anything to do with the battleship Potemkin?
I've never heard of that.
The battleship Potemkin's one of the first classic films, silent movie about a Russian submarine, right?
I don't know.
Battleship
I've
Potemkin.
never heard of it. A silent movie.
Yeah. Enid, you know about Battleship Potemkin? No?
Maybe you dreamt it.
Maybe.
I don't think so. You're always right.
No, I'm not always right, but I
Mostly.
always need to be.
It's true.
Friendship. Give me your take on if we went and saw Friendship.
Oh, we saw this movie with Tim Robinson.
Say that, give it to it one more time.
Because I know there's a Tim Robinson.
Yeah.
Who's
And Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. It was great because it was like kind of like he's unhinged, Tim Robinson.
Yeah, people might know him from his show, I Think You Should Leave,
Yeah,
which he's done a few
brilliant.
seasons of.
We love it.
They're on Netflix.
And so I'm glad that it felt kind of like uneven and kind of like you were just like, what's the tone of this movie? But I loved it. He's just so funny, and I kind of want to watch it again because he's really brilliant.
There were so many lines that were so like deeply unnerving and hilarious.
Yeah.
And they like,
he
the
kind of
writing
like,
is amazing.
yeah, his whole thing is just this. He's a very interesting, you know, character that you've never seen. And he goes into these he takes the most normal situations, office banter, blah, 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 whatever, and makes them just completely absurd, takes them in directions that his TV show does it a little more where you're like, you don't expect it to go where it's going.
Totally.
And this was more formulaic, but still it was just great.
Yeah, it was really good. It was so funny because the movie came out in America a month or two ago, and waiting for this film in Australia has reminded me of being a kid.
Yeah.
When like there used to be such staggered releases of everything. Like now that doesn't happen as much.
Yeah.
But it used to be like you'd hear about an album or a movie or something and you'd see it in Australia like 6 months after.
I kind of love that. It's
Yeah.
sort of like romantic. It's like people who like had to work in, you know, wherever, like different exotic places, and they, you know,
stationed far away.
didn't
Yeah.
get the paper for like a month, you know, delay.
Totally. And I loved we went to that Hayden Orpheum in Cremorne. It was this great old
that was
theater.
fun.
And it was packed because
What
they
a
were like preview
scene.
screenings.
And we were hungry, and I get a bit like bougie about like where I want to eat. Like I want to eat real deal food. Like it's like, you know, tatami in the country in Japan.
What's the tatami, the mat on the floor?
Well, you can stay in the country in
okay.
Japan, like,
Yeah.
and you get like real, you know, Japanese breakfast, like from a family.
And you wanted that in Cremorne before we went into the movie. You're like, where is a Japanese family I can see in the garden?
Or I want something like high end or
Right.
or really bougie and basic bougie. But then we saw this like sports bar, and we were hungry and getting Mexican food in Australia.
Cremorne, yeah, too, yeah.
But we were like, we'll go for the tacos. And I had a burrito bowl at night in a pub, you know, and it's like, could be terrible. It was delicious.
It was delicious.
We like gobbled that up
Yeah.
and ran to the movies.
Yeah, it was fun.
So fun.
It was fun. And then last night we hit the King Street Crawl in Newtown, which was so fun.
We went day and night.
Yeah, we went day and night. We went and saw a funeral at the Marley first, and I got up and did a song with
We
him.
went home, and then we went back
Went
in.
home, walked the dog, cooked some chicken adobo. And,
My mom came with us and my stepfather, and they were amazing. Like,
so fun.
you know, they did the King Street Crawl. And then at night we saw a punk band. It was great.
Yeah, we saw Rapid Die at the Duke, which was Kate, my stepdaughter. It was her friend's band.
He was
They
great.
were awesome. They were like,
I love that he didn't want to do the last. He's like, we didn't really practice a lot of our songs. So their set was like 4 songs. And then the last one, they like, were like, meh, we don't really want to play this one. And then they just like walked off stage.
it
But
was super like riffy and glammy. Like it reminded me of like Red Cross or the Melvins or sort of like just like Kiss, like real like
Yeah.
70s kind of riff thing
But
mixed
was
with like
it
a
punk
hardcore.
at all?
Yeah, because it was mixed with like a hardcore type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
It was like, like Red Cross was sort of from that world of like
Yeah.
glam and
They
hardcore.
had a 20-year reunion of an album. Did you see or something?
Red Cross? No, I still haven't seen the doco Born Innocent that I'm like dying to see
Did
about them.
Sophia date one of them?
Yeah, and Jeff was in Gas Food Lodging
That's
with
right.
you.
Those guys, these twins, tall with long hair.
Yeah.
It's a cool look.
Yeah. And then we didn't get in to see RMFC at Midnight Special. And,
But then we
and we
around,
didn't get in to see
followed a-
Shady Nasty at Mary's. Both were totally packed. And
But we followed this woman who was dressed cool at one of the shows in a red leather top and bottom, like
Yes.
kind of a cool outfit. And Ben was like, well, we'll follow these people. And I was like, what's going on? And then we sat and they were smoking. We didn't see, we were against a wall outside. And she was like, I just got broken up with, and the guy's around the corner.
she dressed up to kind of like
Yeah.
give him a sense of what he was missing.
Yeah.
But it was so good just seeing so many people, like young people out seeing live music.
Yeah.
Which,
and it's fun not to even get in because some place was so packed.
dude, I was like cheering for the bands when we couldn't get in because I was
Yeah.
like, how good must that feel to have packed out a venue during this festival?
Is that, I've never been to Austin. Like, is it like that?
It feels a bit like early South by Southwest when
Yeah,
it was
which is
all
great.
just on that main drag and just every venue
It's all
had.
free.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
I mean, it's such a good vibe. Are you feeling like we're negotiating,
It was heaving.
It was heaving. Yeah, Damon Harriman came and met us and used the term heaving.
And I was like, heaving? I've never, in America, that's vomiting. But I love that heaving is packed, right?
Yeah, it was absolutely heaving. How are you feeling about the flow of the energy exchange of our podcast? Like we're trying to negotiate the content we want to hit with
Did I
having
worry
space
you?
to dance and
Did
play.
I worry you last night?
No, you were expressing that you want it to be still keep it free flowing. So I want to.
I think it's been
You think
great.
we're doing that?
Yeah,
Well, that's good.
I do.
Well, I do. Before we wrap up, I want to chat about this book, Being Jewish After the Destruction of Gaza by Peter Beinart, which has been. This is an incredible book. It's so important and so needed, and I had a huge experience reading it. It's basically a book about the schism that has developed amongst Jewish people between those that feel almost primarily aligned with Israel as an ethno-state, and that's a huge part of their identity of being Jewish, and then more progressive Jewish people like us who see the Torah and the Bible as much more symbolic and poetic
And
parts of our culture, and we are humanists who want to look after everybody and are very moved by suffering in anyone's suffering, not just ours. And oh man, this book, I was so moved by it because it doesn't shy away from it. This book's really about trauma, and it's about how people process trauma as a community. And you know, anti-Semitism and prejudice against Jewish people, historically, that's a real thing. And, you know, my grandmother, her neighbor was killed during pogroms in Russia in a little village. And that all that stuff, that persecution over a long period, it builds up in people's sort of cultural muscle memory. But this book is really an argument in favor of the sober realization that there is a cycle of abuse, and often people who are victims can become oppressors later on, and looking honestly at ourselves as a community involves recognizing both, that we can both be victims and we can be bullies. And I don't know, I just feel like we need more of this like sober kind of just uncomfortable conversation about what is Jewish identity these days, you know? Yeah. How do you feel about all that?
Yeah, no, I think it happens like people, what was the female man-hating club or something? Wasn't there like a cartoon or something about that? Like, you know, you can be an oppressed woman and become a man-hater, but like why, you have to like separate things and just, you know, like I just think people have lumped a lot of things together. And I do love that some people feel that being Jewish means you're loving, like historically in America.
And that you protect others.
Yeah,
you
like
believe in
there
social
was a
justice.
Jewish-Black combination in New York, you know, when my mom was young, where there were a lot of like, you know, Abby Hoffman or whatever. There were these like, you know, rebels, and they were Jewish, and they would team up with like, you know, a Black community because you like feel the same. And that's like when it goes right. When you're like,
sort of,
you're teaming up with people because you're like, oh, we both were oppressed. Let's like, you know, but it gets, yeah, I'm of the, you know, I'm empathetic, and I know a lot of people have trauma, but I think it's important to look at what's happening now.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think it's like when I read great progressive thinkers who believe that like we can evolve and that we can have difficult conversations, I feel less alone. I feel like there's a very large group of us, I think, as Jewish people in the modern world who are looking at like what's happening in Israel and Gaza, and we're like, this is not in my name. I don't want this done in my name. And
for
it's
sure.
like,
I know. It's really, that's a shame.
yeah.
But a lot of cultures get lumped into things, and it's awful. But it's also, it's interesting, generational trauma, because some people are living fine. They're like, I mean, I have a nice life, and so, a couple generations back didn't. But it's interesting to be so so threatened.
Well, it even happens on like a immigrant level, that like you end up with like people like Jay Leno who make millions and millions of dollars yet still have this weird almost DNA impulse that they might run out of money because they're grandkids of immigrants that were really scrappy and So anyway,
Well, I'm glad. I know that book is beautifully. It's not beautifully written, like poetically written, but it's like it goes down. Like it's nice to read something or hear things that are thoughts you've had.
Yeah.
But someone says it in such a clear way, and that's what's so nice about it.
I know, and like as an artist, I kind of innately feel that being an artist is political too, but I often don't find the language to articulate my political ideas. I can articulate my artistic ideas with much more clarity.
Are you shying away from stuff? I mean, you've done some stuff, and now but because are you concerned you might not get back in America if you say more stuff?
I mean, I'm not sure. I think that train has sort of left the station. Like if I didn't get a visa approved because of things I've said on socials about Trump or something, then that's what's going to happen. But no, at this point, it's more like, it's just really interesting. And again, this is very like inner experience within Jewish people, but it is pretty wild the amount of hate that gets directed towards you as a Jewish person if you even just display a modicum of empathy towards people in Gaza, just very reasonable. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like it's getting more like with the Patankin family. It's like it's sort of getting more like normalized.
People are speaking out more, but I get people in my DMs calling me capo.
What's that mean?
Capo were the Jewish people that collaborated with the Nazis.
Oh.
That's what that's the kind of criticism that gets labeled against you if you're not pro-Israel. It's nuts. It's nuts. Anyway, I'm really grateful the conversation's evolving, and there does seem to be greater bandwidth for more subtle conversations about what our identity is.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's time to learn how to honor things but be in the moment. What does Rosie O'Donnell say about Trump?
Oh man, Rosie O'Donnell was amazing.
Rosie
O'Donnell's moved to Ireland, and she
said something so good.
Yeah, I don't know how it started, but he basically threatened to revoke her citizenship, which is insane. And she was basically like, look, I know I'm still living rent-free in your head. I'm what you're afraid of. I'm a loud, clear woman, queer. I'm clear-headed,
Scientologist, clear.
Yeah. I'm a queer woman. I'm a mother. I'm not afraid to speak my mind.
But if you want to Google what she really said, she said it.
Better
not
than
to
me.
put you down, but her words were really
she
good.
she was really good. Anyway, it's like, it's funny. Someone else wrote to me because I shared that Potemkin thing that they in the New York Times they'd done a little interview, and someone wrote to me going like, they still can't use the word genocide or something, and I was like, policing people's language is not the solution in this. Like, we need challenging thoughts coming from all different directions using all types of language in order that it lands for all different types of people and we get opened up to new ideas. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really, I was really impressed with what they said in that.
I know, I can sense it's good. I have to read it or watch it.
Anyway, bit of a heavy thing to end on. Can we lighten it up? Can we end with something a little? Do you have anything you want to?
Yeah. What did I write? I was literally looking up like. I did love. So on a self-helpy note, after I had that Trump dream where I didn't know my lines for the play, I started listening to Mel Robbins.
Oh right.
And so she has a book called like Let 'Em or something. But it was really helpful because I don't often listen to self-helpy things because I think whatever, I like know everything at this point, which is not true. But
this is like Let Them Eat Cake. kind of?
No, it's like just letting people be who they are without trying to fix them. So that was really helpful this morning. I don't know if I feel like talking about that much, but it was good.
Hey, you've said enough.
It helped me.
We got
It
'em.
helped me.
I'm going to let you not keep talking about that if you
And
don't
then
want
I was
to.
thinking to ask you what song inspires and moves you every time?
A song inspires and moves me. Well, a
It's
song.
like a first date question.
Yeah, I know. Well, it reminds me of a song I put on the first mix I ever made you, Sleep by Azure. That song always moved me, no matter how many years pass. It's a simple song, but the production's beautiful, the sentiment's beautiful. I remember the first time I heard it, I was walking around New Haven on tour. I was playing Toad's Place, and I'd been to see Azure the night before at where was it, in Boston, at the Middle East, downstairs at the Middle East. And I discovered that song and I walked around New Haven listening to it, just feeling that yearning, that romantic yearning of the song of disquiet that I so love. So that always moves me. What always moves you?
That's sort of our song. Is that the song that Izzy, my friend's kid, thought you wrote?
No, that was
for her?
No, whatever it is, my song, the first song from Awake is the New Sleep, AIM would put that CD on for Izzy to go to bed to, and Izzy thought I'd made that CD for her.
Oh, okay.
So the songs were like about her or something.
That's so cute. There's so many. Yeah. What was the song? We've been watching Lena Dunham's new show Too Much, and there was a Dylan song that they referenced. They didn't sing it, but it was like I mean so much Bob Dylan.
Yeah, there's a lot of Dylan songs
That
for me
moves
too.
me. Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, beautiful babies. If you aren't signed up for our mailing list, please do. It's free and fun, and we send you cool shit. And keep tuning in.
Yeah, thank you. See ya.
Together we're weirder together.